You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play podcast that is usually Star Wars, but today we are doing something just a little bit different. And what is that, I hear you say? It is my own homebrewed nonsense, the Village Green Preservation Society, available for you to run at your own home table for the lowly donation of backing us on Patreon at some point. Don't do it via the iOS app, though, as previously mentioned, because we will all have a sad time with the size of the cuts that they take. Patreon already take a big old chunk of it. Don't give Apple any more money. They don't need it. What are they going to do? Send more dogs to Mars? No. Give it me instead. Book on through the website. Enough of the shillening. My name is Adam, and I am your host and GM and writer of this little entertainment. And I am joined around the table by four wonderful, wonderful players. And I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their characters, starting with Jeff.
Hello, I'm Jeff. I am playing Old Jeb, the friendly town village, the friendly village priest.
Friendly village, town village.
I'm playing the entire village.
Who is not a town. He's a village priest. He is not a town. The mapping service is very clear on this. But he is friendly. I'm done.
I'm playing Max, the town sheriff, who is also a dog. And a good boy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's a good boy.
Hi, I'm Lou. I'm playing Beryl Green, the village weather witch, who is desperately trying to get the kids to bed and is doing it via massive mama bear voice. And so far, nothing has gone that badly wrong.
Hi, I'm Harry, and I'm playing Bardal the Liar, a retired adventurer, definitely an adventurer, who's currently trying to join the adventurers surreptitiously if they survive his brandy.
And that is where we pick up in the Eiderglass tap house. There is local musicians starting to play a bit of a tune. Curious villagers, worried villagers, and exhausted villagers are all in here trying to have a quiet drink and getting food ready on the table as a bit of a token feast to try to assuage the adventuring gilded weasels before they do something inopportune and terminal to the village. The Carnation Polycule are busy behind the bar, serving drinks, getting everyone comfortable, helping our adventurers check into their room. Lily, who is the primary owner of the bar, is pouring drinks with great gusto and professionalism. Her wife Tia is going around with plates of food and small repasts, like vol au vents, but not quite as posh. You know, cheese and crackers and that sort of stuff. Their husband Jack is currently taking some of the adventurers' bags upstairs to the rooms they've been set up, and their collective boyfriend Bumpo, who is a halfling, is trying to stay well out of the way of Squeaky Pete, because there is clearly some form of halfling on halfling animosity there, and he just doesn't want to get involved. The Gilded Weasels seem in relatively good spirits at the moment. They have come in, they've had a little bit to eat, they've had something to drink. And then, just as they finish their first big drink and their bags have taken up, they stand up and shake themselves down, and Sir Boris the Stout stands up and goes, "Right! Thank you all for your hospitality. We feel truly blessed, and you're all very welcome. This is a small repayment for the services we have done in your town, but we appreciate you do not have a lot to repay us with. And in a village as dirt poor as this one, everything you can give is a treasure. We thank you and we appreciate for that. But on the subject of treasure, we have some of our own burning holes in our coin pouches, and we wish to set out tomorrow at first light. So I assume all your shops are still open, because we're about to go and do some shopping. We can't sit down and eat and drink with our bags empty. We need to get out of here first thing in the morning, and we cannot be negotiating. You will all have terrible hangovers, I'm sure, as you try to match us pint for pint and show your simple village drinking skills against our metal. So let's get the boring commerce out of the way first thing, and then we can just crack on and get leathered. What say you? And the rest of his adventuring party go, aye! And the villagers go, eh. And then, before you can say or do anything, the adventurers split their parties and spread out into the village. You can see, slightly aghast, that gritty Blackrock is heading towards the smithy, where old Ulf is still working away. There is a look in his eyes that says, even if old Ulf was the sort of blacksmith who forged weapons suitable for the nobility, he will not be safe from the scathing critique of a dwarven artisan. Squeaky Pete is heading towards the village store, eyeing up the bakery along the way, his fingers twitching. Sir Boris the Stout is joining him, going through a long list. The list you can see over his shoulder are in pictographs, because of course he cannot read. That deep secret magic is reserved for Melindra, who is heading directly for your gnomish merchant, already discussing how she wishes to purchase all of the magical tat in the village so she can shard it for residuum and make something actually worthwhile out of it.
Can I just handle one little piece of paperwork that we need to do just for like a housekeeping point? I think you'll find that a less posh version of an hors d'oeuvre is a pie.
It's a very small pie.
It's a savoury filling surrounded by a pastry crust. It's just a pie.
A very small pie. Tiny pies.
Yeah, the mini pork pies, mini sausage rolls.
And having clarified that, and it's been burning in me for the entire description you just given.
I think I meant to say vol au vents rather than hors d'oeuvres, but either way.
I think you may have said vol au vents. I may have been.
It's fine. We all get it.
Max is suddenly very aware that this does appear that these adventurers are in a shopping episode.
Mm-hmm. They have gone off to do their shopping montage. And, of course, as they've headed off, one of your village bakers is setting up a game of hot pie for later on.
Why would they do that?
That is a little bit of foreshadowing. Harry, I can see your confusion. If you've never seen Man Down, by the way, if you've never seen Man Down and you're able to watch it in whichever country you're listening from, watch Man Down. It's a Greg Davis sitcom. It's very, very funny. And the game of hot pie is played on the heath and goes like this. There is a table full of pies. One of them is full of piping hot jam. You take turns picking a pie and smashing into your face as hard as you can. Whoever gets the hot pie loses.
For obvious reasons.
Yes, with piping hot jam burns.
I think we all lose. Right. Okay, this is obviously a disaster. Like, they are out of the pockets now, and that is a problem. Right? I'm going to sort of step across to Beryl and say, Beryl, it would be really handy if it was raining.
Very good point. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, I am going to cast a little bit of weather magic to see if I can't create a nice torrential downpour that is not, I repeat, not an ominous thunderstorm.
I support that choice.
Yeah.
So, will this actually help, or did old Jeb corner the market in umbrellas before this happened?
It will help, but also...
Once again, let's not, turn away profit where profit is to be had. So yes, I am going to attempt to call up some nice rain to keep them from wandering too far.
Yeah. So, yeah, your Weather Witch will trigger, your Font of Druidic Power will trigger.
That's a 4.
Okay. That's a mixed success. I don't think we've yet hit the point that the ominous thunderstorm is rolling in, but the rain is a little heavier than you would like. What this has unfortunately done, though, is it has turned their leisurely stroll towards their various destinations that they were heading towards into a bit more of a faster-paced trot to get there out of the rain. Unfortunately, that means they get there before any of you can get to those locations and warn your colleagues and compatriots of the village to brace themselves. They are about to be visited by adventurers. So as the rain comes down and starts plinking in the streets, they disappear to their destinations quickly and, coincidentally, from your immediate view. One other thing happens, Belle. as you are attuning yourself to nature, calling upon the village, the weather to bow to your whim, your wedding ring heats up, and a voice echoes in your head.
Hello, Beryl. I heard the bell going, and then a bit of a boom. I sensed you drawing upon your magic more than usual. Is everything all right? Do I need to come home sooner?
Don't worry, darling. We've got it under control. Some unexpected guests.
Guests? Unexpected guests?
Nothing to worry about.
Well, I'll be keeping an eye on things anyway, just to be on the safe side. I am quite busy at the moment, my love, but I'm not having the village be put in danger for want of me finishing my game of cribbage.
You stay there and finish your game. We've got to make sure that you're all fit and well for the game on Sunday.
Yes. Okay. Let me know if anything happens. I'll keep an arcane ear open, my love.
You enjoy your game. Don't worry about us. We've got this.
And your ring goes cool again.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Everything okay?
No, it's all right. Just the old man checking in, making sure we're okay. He heard the bell.
Okay.
So, told him to not worry and we'll handle this.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, because, given what they've been up to, we don't want... I mean, hopefully they're out of spells.
I'll see if I can wrangle them back. Maybe give them a... Maybe make... They shouldn't have to... Yeah, no, it's fine. I've got to... I'm going to rush after Boris, because he seems to be very much like somebody I can reason with.
Boris is in the general store. The general store is currently open. It got reopened. Garten Bellowbright, the gnome who runs it, is not in the store at the moment. They have been dragged away into the back stocks by Melindra, and it is one of the Schultz clan who is their assistant that is running the place. And for this, we turn once again to Harry.
Young Tipple. She's she assisting.
Yeah, she's a little flustered as Boris is blustering his way around, picking up things from the shelves and critiquing them, trying to discuss whether or not she's able to break a platinum piece for, a bag of ball bearings and 10 foot of rusty chain and a fresh pole, and then discussing why it's more economically viable for him to buy a ladder and split it apart into two 10-foot poles than to buy one 10-foot pole, and what exactly is her thoughts on that? Why has that been set up like that? Surely she can see how she's doing a grave disservice, and she's gone a little bit pale and awestruck in the overwhelming force of Sir Boris's personality and bluster.
I'd like to step in and sort of hope to try to diffuse some of the situation by both acknowledging his very realistic concerns with regards to ladder and pole economy, and putting it down realistically to the issues of big pole and a slightly bigger ladder, but also, but I will also say now, Sir Boris, if you take a humble piece of advice, the rains around here can be absolutely terrible, and it's not. After the work you've done, you shouldn't be out in the rain having to ferry yourself around the shops. What our craftsmen and our tradesmen should be doing is coming to you to vie for your patronage. You should be in the bar, drinking some snacks, while our tradesmen come and tell you what you tell us what you need, and we'll make sure those tradesmen get to you.
Make an excellent point. Also, oilskins then. It is raining. Make the roll for me, please.
Sure. Reasonable?
Yeah.
Friendly?
Yeah, I'll allow that too. Yeah.
Nice. Take it. 4.
You know there, my old Macarino, he says, slapping you hard on the shoulder and kind of jarring you a little. You make an excellent point. Why should we be out here, trudging around in this cramped and dusty place? You should all be coming to us. We're heroes. I'm going to go back to the bar, and I expect to see your finest wares brought to us pretty sharpishly. We have to get the shopping done before we can enjoy, and the longer we have to wait, the less able I am to enjoy tonight's beer session.
Excellent. Absolutely. And obviously, the more of your people in that same location, the more efficient it will be.
I'll see what I can do. And he hands you the list. Here's what we're after for the first instance. This is what we need to have. The bottom of that are some spell components that Melindra requires, so I hope you've got plenty of guano.
I'm sure we can sort something.
And he starts to make his way back towards the bar.
Just a brief scan, by the way, how much of this is viable.
You have no idea what any of it means. He can't read or write.
Of course he started writing.
Is it these pictures, or is it actually where?
Some of it are pictures, some of it are, are what he thinks are words.
But not just squiggles.
Yeah. Bottle!
You read right, adventurer.
I learned to write when I was a wizard on one of my adventures. Oh, naturally, don't worry, I'll be fine. Bardo takes the list. I can see it. Seems to be there's a man holding a turnip. They obviously want food. There seems to be a series of sticks. I don't understand why they would want so many sticks.
We can get sticks for you.
I think they're ladders.
Why do they need so many ladders?
It's just cheaper, apparently. I only walked in at the end of it, but apparently it's good economic sense.
Well, I'd know.
It says they want healing potions. Don't worry, I have those.
Baddle, I'm just going to ask this one time. Do you?
Well,
if you tell me that you do, if you look me in the eye and tell me that you do, we'll say no more about it, and I'll go to the bar and try to keep these under wraps.
He definitely does. Bardal is a keen amateur mustard grower, so he's got plenty of bottles of mustard he's been growing.
This sounds acceptable to me. I will
find this to be acceptable.
I cannot see how this could go wrong.
Make me a roll, Harry.
Oh, that's how it could go wrong.
Yeah.
If worst comes to worst, it's going to taste nice on their sandwiches.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, yeah, I'm going to give you a bonus because you have the list, and I'm going to count that as assistance from Jeff. Oh God. I think this is possibly a point that your wants to be an adventurer is going to hinder you simply because you know what you think they want, and that's not necessarily what's on the list.
I'll fetch my old magical axe for Master Dwarf. And Bardal comes back with an axe where the blade is mounted sideways. This is Rootbane, the mat of talk.
I don't know why the dog is sighing, but Max the dog is sighing.
Close
He was
enough.
a fabled automaton artificer who passed through these years many years ago.
It's close enough. I'm going to go to the bar.
Okay, what am I rolling?
So one for luck.
One for luck. Delusions of adventure.
Yeah, one for luck. One for the list. -1 for delusions of adventure. Are you invoking your clan to help carry the stuff to the bar?
Oh, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
he's basically pilfering a bunch of their stuff as well.
So, yeah, you can have another one for your clan.
Eccentric.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll allow that. I think this is basically a maxed out roll for you, isn't it? Is that 5 dice?
That's 4, because I got -1 for
Oh, yeah.
his wanting to be an adventurer and
Yeah.
join in. Okay, well, we'll see if he can roll anything above a 3. 2 5s, a 4, and a 3. So 5.
Woo!
Partial success. Master Dwarf, have you ever seen an axe like this?
The dwarf, as you find him, is currently in the forge. And he is as bellowing at old Ulf.
This craftsmanship is absolutely shoddy. I have seen better things forged by a goblin.
And old Ulf, who is deaf after 60 years of working the forge, is just going, "Hey! What?
I'm saying that your craftsmanship is shoddy. I wouldn't kill a piglet with this axe."
What? Piglet? No, it's an axe! Have you got dirt in your ears?
I'm going to walk over there and effectively translate between them. Sign language to old Ulf, and then I will not be saying what each other is saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will be trying, basically, if, like, the dwarf is like, that's excellent craftsmanship, you know, fantastic, and, you know, I will be trying to keep a calm on it, you know, keep a lid on it by completely and utterly mistranslating what's going into Ulf.
Yep, that sounds like good to me.
So, disarmingly middle-aged?
Yes, I'll allow that, yep.
2 5s. He thinks your work is very good. He would be interested in seeing your finest pieces. Make sure you overcharge the tiny short man. Yeah, the walking beard.
It's prestige pricing.
It's a really, really versatile sign language as well.
There's an awful lot of hand gestures in it.
Yeah. You do manage to broker at least a little bit of peace between them, but Gritty Blackrock is clearly deeply contemptuous of old Ulf's skills, and his body language is very clear about that. And in the same way, old Ulf, while you're attempting to mollify him a little bit, is also clearly shares a similar contempt. Yeah, and at one point loudly says, "Don't worry, I'll definitely overcharge him," and winks. Clearly he thinks he's whispered. Gritty kind of narrows. Like, again, his entire face compacts into a ball of disapproving hair and eyebrows, where just the slightest bit of light from the forge is reflected on the squinty eyes. He has a shrimp's eyes.
Well, there's clearly nothing for you here, Master Dwarf. Why don't we, I think it being arranged to take some of our finest goods to actually come to you, so you can go and enjoy a nice ale in the pub where it's nice and dry, so you don't have to be here, and then, you know, we can bargain where it's nice and dry and nice and quiet, and you can see our best work, and if it's not for you, then it's not for you, and that's fine. We're only a wee village that doesn't have any master craftsmen. You know, this is not what we're here for. You need to go to a big city for some of that.
I need to use the sharpening stone first. I've blunted my axe on the heads of demons.
Well, I'm sure, you know, Master Ulf will quite happily let you use his sharpening stone for, shall we say, 5 copper pieces?
Make me another roll.
And that's a 4.
No, 5 silver pieces.
We are racing clocks out here. There is a bit of a heated negotiation with you in the middle of it, Beryl, as you're frantically trying to mollify both parties. And eventually they settle on a sum that they're both happy with. Ulf feeling pleased that he's managed to rob Gritty, and Gritty feeling pleased that he's managed to underpay clearly what this is worth. You know, he wouldn't pay that in a big city. And after a bit of time, you manage to start wrangling him back towards the inn. Who wants to go next? Squeaky Pete is still out there. Alice Melinda the Magnificent.
Max is going to have been following Squeaky Pete, because obviously I now know that he's slightly light-fingered. Which store has Squeaky Pete gone into?
He has made his way into the bakery, where he is currently negotiating with the baker. Rob, who is the baker?
They are Mrs. Miggins, because that name has just been stuck in my head for some reason. A half-orc.
Squeaky Pete is in the bakery at the moment, staring up at Mrs. Miggins with a curious look on his face. And the look, you can read enough of this halfling's body language, and the look is this. How very unusual to find a walking XP serving in a store instead of dying underneath my daggers.
Yep.
But they are working in the village and selling a thing. So if I murder them, that is bad because they're a villager. But if I murder them, this is good because they're a half-orc, and then I can get their honey cakes. But if I murder them, there won't be any honey cakes for the morning. But they're honey cakes baked by a half-orc.
Which means they're evil.
Yeah, this real conflict on Squeaky Pete's face, which is not stopping him sneakily pocketing gingerbreads every time Mrs. Miggins looks around. He is currently trying to negotiate to buy the entire stock of honey cakes, including the ones that have been set aside for the children.
So, what Max will first be doing is every time Sneaky Pete slips something into his pocket and then carries on, Max will just reach his head in and just take it back out and put it back on the side, so that hopefully there tends to be like an infinite loop of about 3 gingerbread biscuits that are constantly being stolen and put back.
He's getting increasingly soggy, and the halfling and like Squeaky Pete hasn't noticed yet. Because also, he appears to be operating on reflex as he's doing this. Like, he doesn't seem to notice that he's actually stealing while he's stealing.
Are you trying to train this halfling? Is that what this is?
So, yeah, trying to basically just be, I'm just the dog, ignore me while I'm doing it.
I am going to impose the penalty for your doggishness for the simple reason that those biscuits, A, are delicious and tasty, and B, are going to be getting increasingly soggy as your jowly houndness.
Yeah.
I mean, currently Max is quite literally a soggy dog.
Yeah.
Just coming from the rain, like...
Yeah. I'm hoping that while they do get soggy, that will mean that eventually he'll go, they're soggy, and stop stealing them.
Let's see what the dice say.
Let's see what the dice says.
Yeah.
That was a 2!
Oh dear.
Low is good, right?
yeah, this is Mecha Hack, right, Adam? Low is good?
Yeah, low is good. This fails, Rob. Tell me how this escalates.
It just escalates by, I just bite him. Just, his hand's in there, it's in my mouth. I just, like, not hard, but it's like, sometimes dogs just, like, just nip him slightly.
And I think he leaps back, draws his daggers, and his instincts flash. And you end up with a dagger in your flank, and so does Mrs. Miggins. You're both still alive, and he kind of gets himself under control, but not until there has been this fan of knives as he leaps back on the counter. Yes, there is the whimpering. Mrs. Miggins swears very loudly in Orcish, which, again, is audible. Mrs. Miggins is not the quietest baker, and I think that her loud Orcish curse echoes out into the street. Just at the moment where there's a lull in the rain, and as Gritty and Sir Boris are making their way back to the tavern, their ears prick up at the side of this loud Orcish oath, and slowly their heads begin to swivel towards the bakers.
I assume I gain another quirk. Stabbed. I know, have an additional drawback. Have been stabbed.
Such a quirky stabbing victim.
Yeah. I'm going to play dead and try and make the halfling think he's killed the dog. Make them the bad guy.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep the camera on you for this one then.
2 dice, one for look, one for disarming demeanour.
Yeah.
That's a 5. It's a success for us.
Mm-hmm. And I think as you're on your back playing dead, Beryl and old Jeb get to the door of the bakery, like behind Sir Basil the Stout and Gritty Blackrock, as they're trying to go, no, nothing to worry about here. Just as they see Max roll over and collapse, looking dead, Mrs. Miggins holding a dagger in her arm, and Squeaky Pete looking shifty and standing on the thing with a new fresh pair of daggers in each hand. What? Says Boris. What's gone on here?
Well,
says Squeaky Pete.
the dog bit me, and I retaliated. I didn't realise what was happening. You know, the old instincts, you should never sneak up on someone like me. And this half-orc, she swore at me an orcish curse. She said horrible things about my ancestry, and I think she might have tried to cast a spell on me.
And he gives her a very suspicious look, and Mrs. Miggins holds her and goes, No, you daft bugger, you put a knife in me.
Yeah, well, maybe it's what you deserve.
No, let's all calm down, shall we? I mean, certainly some people have been stabbed, and that's not ideal. So, we're just harmless folk here, so people come in, wielding knives, that's just not on now, is it, young fella?
Got bitten by the dog.
I mean, you're in here, with... Did you have any biscuits in your hand?
Yeah.
Well, what do you expect then? You got a handful of biscuits and he's a big dog. I mean, you probably didn't hold your palm out flat or anything.
Make me a roll. I'll give you a bonus dice as Rob is effectively helping.
That is a 5.
Okay.
I only saw the 1 and the 2 and it's like, oh no, and there's another dice and it's a 5. Yay!
Yeah, Squeaky Pete kind of looks a little bit chastised and sheathes his daggers and goes,
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I am sorry I killed your dog.
but like, yeah, that's terrible there, Squeaky Pete. Dog like that seemed pretty impressive and always a shame. Still, no harm done and there's good eating on that, I'm sure. Let's get it in the pot for later. You can never be too picky about trail rations when you've been set in the wilderness as long as we have, and a good dog can last you quite a while. Isn't that right, Gritty? And Gritty goes, where I'm from, dogs are a great delicacy. Hey, where he's from, dogs are a great delicacy.
Now hang on, he might not actually be dead. Just might be in shock.
Why don't I have a look at him and take him back to the church and see how that's going? And I'm sure we can sort you out some better rations than dog. And plus, like, he's all stringy muscle, you know. I'm sure we can find something far, far better for you. And it's not right that you should have to have that kind of thing. You know, good quality meats are what you want. Why don't we get you back in the inn and we'll have some people come over so you can do shopping and you can have a look at the fine foods that we do have while I check on our sheriff here.
No, fairly well. Make me a roll, please, G.
Can Bardle's family assist by having young Cumber rolling a wheel of cheese down the street towards the tavern as they speak?
Yep, I will allow that. But Jeff, I'm afraid you're going to start taking a penalty because this close to...
it's fine. It's fine. I knew.
Blood, a knife, a shiny, sharp knife.
I still got a 6. But I'd like to keep an eye on where that halfling is going. As much as I can.
Ooh, the light glitters on that. But yes, Max is alright. It was only a scanning. Luckily, he's so hairy and so furry that it managed to absorb the worst of it and it's kind of just caught in his fluff. It's only nicked. It's just a flesh wound. He's just being dramatic.
I am going to put an absolutely massive bandage on it so that they think they did a lot of damage.
Yeah, so they feel guilty about it, yeah. Squeaky Pete's eyes have locked onto the wheel of cheese and he almost begins to float, you know, being pulled along by his nose, gently drifting, his eyes wide. The daggers in his hands have been replaced by cheese knives. And he treads through the mud towards the tavern, just pulled along by the magnetic draw of this wheel of cheese.
I will say, by the way, just to the baker, I was Mrs. Miggins, that knife you've got there, why don't I make sure that gets back to the halfling later?
Yeah. Oh, very well. If he falls on it, I won't be upset. She pulls it out of her arm and passes it over to you.
Thank you. I'll sort that out later.
So Boris the Stout and Gritty kind of nod, satisfied that this has been resolved, turn around. They offer no apologies. They turn around and they start walking back in the rain towards the tavern.
Oh, I'll offer at least one of them my cloak.
Sir Boris accepts it, just pulls it over his head, catches on some of the kobold bits he's got bolted to his armour.
That's fine.
You can hear from the back rooms of the general store Melindra arguing with Garton over some of the magic items that they're trying to sell her. The rest of the adventurers are making their way back towards the tavern. The rain is starting to pull in a little bit. And I would like what will be the last roll of this scenario, because one way or another, there is a single box left to be ticked on either track. So, who wants to take the spotlight for this and talk us through what's going on? I'm kind of thinking this might be a Bardle one, to be honest.
I've got an idea, but it could go really wrong.
That's what we're here for.
The last adventurer left is Melindra, the...
Magnificent, yes. The mage.
Okay, so Bardle's going to send one of his grandkids out to send a message to Melindra the elf. It'll read in pictures about magic, like a magic item that he has. So he sends little Marrow off to send a message, and when it comes back, he's going to just talk about in this town there's a magical dog. I really hope it's still all right. If you have any healing, this dog is Max is a very good boy. Very powerful magic to make sure he's okay. A powerful adventurer wizard as yourself should be able to heal him.
You say this dog is magic. In what way is this dog magic? I sense no impressions of magic from this dog. True, he seemed intelligent and well trained, but that could easily be explained by good handling. Tell me, old man, of this magic of which you speak. Is he under a curse? Or a blessing, perhaps?
Oh, well, no one's trained him, you see. He was just always a good boy. That's the magic.
Make me a roll.
Oh no.
If this goes badly, they're coming for your kidneys, Rob.
Oh no. I thought I was going to Candy Mountain.
Bottle had. So I realised with his floor, so he wants to join in with the adventurers. We'll say, he's such a good boy. He would make a fantastic companion for you on your adventures.
No.
What am I rolling here?
Oh, okay. So 1 for luck, 1 for eccentric. I think we'll allow that one. Lose 1 for your quirk. Gain 1 for drawing on the clan.
Okay, we're on 2.
Gain a dice for Max being, I repeatedly shown to be an unusually intelligent dog.
Yeah, I'll give you 1 for Max as a help from Rob. What's your other trait? I feel like I've not.
Okay, so he's retired innkeeper, so a bit of a drunk. He has delusions of adventure. He's eccentric, the clan patriarch, and his flaw is that he wants to join the adventurers.
Yeah, I think I'll give you for delusions of adventure as well. So I think that's 3 dice. Is that then in the end?
Awesome. That'd be 4 in total. If I get the help from Max being a good boy. Okay. Now we've got the highest is a 5. 5, 3, and 2.
There's some good news and some bad news here for you, Harry. The good news is that you have successfully filled the village's clock. The bad news is you have successfully filled the adventurer's clock. Actually, of everyone, it probably works. So, what we have here is a draw. So, if the adventurer's clock gets completely filled, things change significantly for the worse for the village. If the village's clock gets filled, things remain the same for the village in a positive fashion. But what we've got here is a draw. So, how does things escalate, but in a way that it's bad for the village, but it's not catastrophic? I think is what we're coming to here.
I think the obvious thing is that they do want to take Max with them.
Yes, and they try to find who owns Max and begin earnest negotiations for him.
I think we probably do get them back to the inn and get them settled down. But I get the feeling that we're probably going to have to deal with another Sneaky Pete escape at some point. And I get the feeling that they're not having as much fun as they think they should be having.
And also possibly they're starting to get slightly suspicious. Like there's a half-orc in the village, there's this magical talking dog in the village. They're getting suspicious that there might be something going on here.
They think we're a plot hook.
They think we're a plot hook. They think that we are the quest. We are the next quest. We are not just a stopping point along that quest.
Yeah, so I think then as we begin to draw this episode to the close, you have managed to get them all back to the tap house. But yes, there is definitely that suspicion growing on their faces, and the look in their eyes as they're looking around the village is starting to shift from "you are simple village folk, behold our majesty" to there is something going on here, and on the other side of this is experience points and treasure. Because these adventurers are very self-aware in what they're doing. They are the worst kind of players. And yes, they are in hot negotiations trying to be opened up by Sir Boris to purchase or otherwise acquire your very intelligent dog to join them on their adventures going forward. And I think that's, yes, he's kind of putting the noses out of joint of your villagers, especially some of the farmers and fishermen who'd been drinking in here before the adventures were even started, and have indeed been on some of Bardal's apple brandy, which, as we all know, is a little bit vigorous, shall we say.
Yeah, there wouldn't be this many NPCs here if there wasn't plot.
Yeah. So I think as our camera draws to a close, as the music starts to take on a slightly more sinister tone and the gilded weasels begin to keep a slightly closer handle on where their weaponry is, as Melindra the Magnificent comes back dragging a bag full of what little magical potency is available in your town, followed by Garton Bellerbright, who looks bereft at how much of their stock has been taken by this wizard, and for what is probably not what it's worth. As you can see, some of Bardal's clan starting to set up their game of hot pie in the corner, staring with a predatory gaze towards Sir Boris and his big, shiny, bald head that would look perfect covered in piping hot jam. I think that is where we're going to finish the episode for today. Thank you again very much to our players. Harry, obviously you're joining us from the Magnificent Dice Company podcast, and at the end of the full arc, I will definitely give you plenty of airtime to tell everybody on why they should be listening to Dice Company, other than me going, you should be listening to Dice Company. It's really, really good, y'all. It is really good. Like, they're a party who somehow managed to fail forward despite the fact they all clearly hate each other, but with the hatred that can only be accurately portrayed by 4 players who really, really like each other. And, you know, it's good. It is a good show. But yeah, do you want to do a very quick elevator pitch? I was going to say,
what are you talking about? Our ad copy says, Dice Company stands as a testament to the power of friendship, creativity, and good old-fashioned love for storytelling.
Despite the character's best efforts. So yeah, I will definitely give you plenty of time at when we finish the arc to fully sell yourself, because you should.
Awesome.
But yeah, I reiterate once again, it is a hella good show, and I've been on it. You know, which, as we all know, is Indeed. A mark of great quality in the podcasting world. Yes, they've also had Adam guest star. I'm prolific. I can't help it.
Sebastian Longclaw. You managed to completely discombobulate Dave, by the way.
Yeah, I did.
That was amazing.
Yeah, full Adam.
Yeah, I went full Adam and I broke them. It was great fun.
That's mean.
Yeah. And we all know how much y'all, as our listeners, enjoy hearing me go full Adam. So you got that to look forward to. But yes, thank you very much to my players for joining us for this. Thank you very much to our listeners, as always, for coming along with us. We hope you're having fun, and we will see you next time. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Edge Studios. Our intro music is by the amazing Sly Fox Audio. Check out more of her work at soundcloud.com/SlyFoxAudio. Our outro music is Suburban Outlaw instrumental version by Forget the Whale, used with gratitude under a Creative Commons license. Many of the sound effects and soundscapes are created using Sirenscape, because epic games need epic sounds. If you're enjoying the show and want to support us, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/ForceMajeurePod, where for as little as $1 a month you get access to outtakes, adverts, various other stuff, and my fortnightly ramblings. You can drop us a coffee at ko-fi.com/ForceMajeurePod, or you can leave us a rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to interact with us, there's a few ways you can do that. We are on the social medias, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter as @ForceMajeurePod, and we're over on Mastodon as @ForceMajeurePod at dice.camp. You can also join our Discord, link in the show notes. Thank you very much for listening and being with us as we tell these stories. We hope you are having fun, and we will see you next time.